Welcome, family. Welcome, family. Welcome, welcome. Another chill out zone. Another chill out zone provided by Spartan Red, Melted Red Brick University, nest of the Eagle Eye crew. Like, share, and subscribe. Good evening, everyone. We got a lot of meltologists out there up and coming. Many out there have links. You can see them in our description box down below. Y'all know them. Y'all love them. And y'all respect them. Because that's what we've done this last year. Is come together with love and respect and the passion for meltology. And we all understand our own personal reasons for it. I know mine. I know mine wasn't too long ago, and I won't dally here. I just want to get a few things across to everybody out there listening, meltologists, melt heads. You know, um, I was once in the chats too. I've said this before. I was reached out to by Spartan Red to come in and join this cause, this movement, this passion that we all have. For those that have come up on live stream, for those that have created content for those to come up on live stream, for those sitting out there in the chats, watching, observing, learning, listening, for everybody, we've all come together under meltology. We're all human beings. We all have our flaws. We all have these idiosyncrasies in ourselves that through our journey, through our existence personally, have made us who we are and how we are. And each one of us are different, not only by sex, not only by ethnicity, if you will, but by age. You know, and for the older ones here in the meltology movement, you know, we understand a different time before this tech available to us. We remember the days if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to go in and dial a phone, or you had to actually pick up a pen and a piece of paper and write them a message, lick a stamp, and send it off. It's not the way it is now, obviously. And that's got its good things, you know. It brings this quick information to us fast, live. But it's got its drawbacks too, as far as differences of opinions or thought processes. You know, they're all put out here for us in front of us to feed on, to learn off of, to comment on, to be part of. And with that, you know, it can bring a lot of great things, and it can also cause a lot of adverse things to happen. I said I won't dally, and I won't. But I do want to come across with, you know, me. And that's the only one I can speak for is me. You know, you've all seen me up here this last year growing as a person and as a meltologist. And I've got to become part of a family that I still love and respect out of everybody that I've dealt with and been involved with in meltology. And, you know, that's why I do what I do. And I come in here because I believe in meltology. I believe, just as you, that this has to get out there. And that's why I've invested myself in Spartan Red, in Melted Red Brick University, in the platform. And it's changed my life. He's changed my life. Taught me a lot about meltology, and taught me a lot about myself through constructive criticism. I've had a lot to learn fast this last year, and I wouldn't be where I'm at now, still needing to learn a lot more. But I wouldn't be here right now doing this still if I would have let that constructive criticism hurt me emotionally. These are one of these things that we got to understand about ourselves. Sometimes things are said to you that you automatically will take personally, but you need to, if you learn anyway, need to overcome that and not take it as that, but take it as a constructive way to challenge you to challenge yourself. And that doesn't come by led around by the hand. That sometimes comes with a swift kick in the ass. And that's old school. Not a lot of us are privy to that old of school way of learning, but a lot of us here remember that. And I thank Spartan Red for being so encouraging to me in a way to make me do what I needed to do. So, you know, For the few years now, this movement has come along a lot more. And Spartan Red has been flicking out joints, rolling them up, sparking them, and passing them around for us all to enjoy. He's gotten a lot better himself at this. He's learned and grown and taken the same constructive criticism as he gives out. So with that being said, I just want to get that across to the melt head community, the meltologists out there. And, this is a university level forum as far as Melted Red Brick University and meltology. It doesn't matter if you got whatever stream you're in and somebody's spitting out meltology and breaking it down. It's an educational thing. It's not a personal thing, at least not for me and not for Spartan Red. I want to teach meltology. I want to learn more about meltology. I want to learn more about meltologists, because we all battle our own demons, and we come in every night as meltologists, setting all those problems and troubles aside to come into the nest and break it down with the family where we have fun and we listen, love, and learn from each other. And we're growing. We haven't stopped after everything that's happened in the last month or whatever. We're still throwing out brilliant evidence, brilliant stuff. Spartan Red is stitching together brilliant things like you just enjoyed before I showed up on screen here. That's creative content. That's showing you meltology with a love for music and rhythm behind it. That stuff was broken down and timed out specifically for you to enjoy and get the vibe off of, because that was also taken into account whenever you see any kind of work from Spartan Red like this. There's a lot that goes into these things, and he uses his own intuitiveness and creativeness to put this out for us in the way that he does. And I respect and I love him for that. And I know you do too. And, I just wanted to start with that crew and anybody out there watching. I needed to say that because I don't want anybody out there hurting right now that I know and love and respect. And that goes for every meltologist out there, everyone. My one love to you and yours from the bottom of my fervent heart. And if you're going through a hard time out there, it'll get better. Just hang on. Do what you need to do. Be who you need to be. But do it right. And be respectful to everybody out there. And first and foremost, be truthful and respectful to yourself. First place you need to start. So, with that said, welcome again. Good to see everybody here. Good to be back up live. I know y'all want to see the melt. And you know what? I'm going to bring it to you right now. But I'm first going to say, Big Jimmy, how you doing? AB, there you are. Odin's Beard, of course. Mason Melt, Doug, and everybody else coming in. Glad to see you here. Can't wait for you to get here. So I'm going to bring you the melt right now. I'm going to kick it off with some evidence that I got. I researched. I spent my time and energy to look into. And I'm just going to start it off like this and just get right into the evidence. Spartan, Laughing Eagle might be in later. We'll see. And I hope so. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into screen here and just get this melt going on for you. I'm going to avatar up so you don't have to sit here and watch me pull the hair out of my beard. And we'll get right into it. Brick love again. One love to you and yours. Glad to see you here. And I'm about ready to do what I love to do most, and that's break down meltology. And hopefully reaching others out there with my observations of meltology. and hoping to waiting for my infinity to pop up here. There we go. Because that's what we're about in Melted Red Brick University. Is waking people up. And the only way we can do that is to teach them, show them the melt. And I'm going to get started. And I hope everything's in line here. If not, you know me, fervent heat. I'll go with the flow. And again, if I accidentally click out or whatever, it's a power issue with my PC. Bam, I'll be right back on my phone. Spartan's flying up there somewhere. I see him. I see the shadow. So no worries, no worries. And I'm just going to bring it to you right now. We're in Peru. Yeah, we've been there before. Many have taken many of these pics I'm going to show. I'm sure of it. In fact, I'm positive. Okay. But it doesn't matter that it's the melt. It's meltology. And we want to learn about it. Peru, like I said, obvious, structure. How can it not be? Okay. These big blocks right here. I'm not going to dally on them, but I'm going to bump through quick because I got a few. We're looking at brick block line in these things. They might have been whitewashed. They look just cooked to me. We got some stuff right here indicating that. Boom, popping up out of the melt right there. Continue it on, settling down in the brick ash. We come over here. We got this other piece here, all blocked out. Arches. Things in the melt indicate part of the structure, obviously. The road coming down. We look underneath. Usual suspects. It's all the melt. All the melt. This has come down here. Expanded rock curtain around this corner. See how it ate out this corner right here, coming across, coming around. Expanding down. Stairs. Obviously terracing up. Everything in here is old world. Might have been come in with trucks or whatever, cleaned a lot of it up. Looks like it does now, but old world melt. Last thing I'll get up here in the right-hand corner. Columns getting buried, expanded from behind, lost in the melt, proving that this base here was littered with these kind of things, most likely all the way around them. And then this wall feature coming off here on the right side. Viscosity cooked out, sinking down into the melt. Aperture right here. All of it settling in the melt. Peru. Same pig, different angle. Old world. Some of it might have been touched up here and there, but old world melt. Shit, didn't clean that one up. Damn it. I knew it'd slip in. Anyway, old world melt right here. Picture been showed many a times before. This isn't a mountain. This is a structure that's been melted by the electrical energy coming from the bottom up. Also described as the X factor heat, the X factor energy, the X factor event. All these along here. Getting lost in the melt, expansion from the inside out. Losing the detail, but still apparent enough to know that these were all part of this massive structure. Same in the foreground here. You can see the melt.
Yo, yo.
There you are, brother.
How you doing?
Doing well, just bumping into these evidence, kicking it off.
Cool. I had that tune running through my head again, Dean.
I know, me too.
Not that one, the other one.
Oh, that
Remember
one?
it?
Yes.
They smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
Backstabbers. Yeah, I had that going through my mind. Anyway, carry on, mate.
Yeah, I dig that one you just bumped for us at the beginning of the stream here. If you weren't dancing to that, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, listen, you can't beat the oldies, mate.
No, not at all.
Can't beat the
Not
oldies.
at all.
Anyway, big shout out to all the Eagle Eye crew in the chat. Hope you're all okay. Just jumping in, seeing what's cooking.
We got the melt cooking.
As always.
We're in Peru, as you probably knew. But this side, right side, obvious usual suspects. The balloon rocking, keeping the shape of this wall, the weld and everything, keeping it all together. It would have crumbled away a long time ago. These are just the outer shells of these structures, as we've said many a times before.
You can't build like that.
No, you can't. Obvious structure once again, terracing up. Heat coming from the bottom up. Everything basically down here is gone except for a few block structures in this wall. See, this all went block, brick. The stairs remain somewhat intact, enough for these people to still get up and down them. As we climb, you see the melt coming up this wall here, expanding, popping it right here, cooking it out here, coming up as it does, and affecting the rest of the structure. Obviously, expansion right here, part of this building, or still is this building, but state of matter being altered, causing this deformity expansion in the front. You can see how it's cooked out, charred more than the C14 rich stuff up here. And then this behemoth in the back, of course, which we'll be getting to here shortly. Structure right here in it. Structure right here, settling, sinking down in the melt. Peru. These weren't caused by erosion, all of that stuff. This is old world melt. This is old world structures, antiquitech, whatever they use this for, it's in the melt and it's part of the melt. And we see it in the walls that make this.
Red bricks.
Everywhere. What the melt or what this place looked like before the melt, who knows? But this was all here, even this in the back wall right here going across. What's left? The pocket, the wall of survival, if you will, of this melt. Same with this over here. All of it. A wall of survival, pocket of survival, still remaining in the melt. And everything around it. This is just part of the structure that it was on, that it was attached to. Mountains are melted red brick buildings. And this shows you, again, Peru. The structure in itself, look at it. Blocking. You lose it. Look at the expansion here of this. There's arch features here. Cooked out chart over here. Cooked out chart over here. Still C14 rich in here. Crumbling, expanding. And you can still see remnants of the pocket of survival down here in these columns. All throughout this. They might call it a quarry now, if that's what they're using it for. But that's just a rebrand of what it is. Melted structure. Look at the retaining walls. Whatever these features up, these walls are, they're still present. You can see the columns in here sinking down, flowing out into the melt. Structures right here. The flow of the melt coming through these structures right here, bringing it down, leaving chunks here and there, slipping these structures, these renditions, these apertures, these arches, these doorways down into the melt. Over here. Pocket of survival in the melt. All through here. Older pick. And then, of course, out here, everything is melted structure. If this is melted structure, which it is, this shows it. What this looked like originally, we don't know. But it was part of something massive, and now this is all that's left. And this is all that's left of these out here, as far as you can see. In fact, you can still see pockets of survival, even from this distance. All of it being melted realm. Again, pop these for some detail, but even down here in the so-called valley, we still have remnants of the melt. Everything around up in here shows us what these structures were, what these mountains so-called are.
Just quickly read this out, Dino.
Yeah.
Hey, Laughing Eagle from James. I hope all is well, my friend. As always, you're putting out outstanding melted evidence. Dean, you're already knocking the evidence out of the park. Much love and blessings to you both. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Brick love to you.
Yeah, brick love, my friend. Always drop me a love.
In the background, obvious. I mean, melted building, rock curtaining, massive arches in concession. Bam, bam, bam. Expansion coming from the inside out. Look at the right angles. Look at the blocking. Look at it expanding and coming out of these huge apertures. All of this is rock curtaining over the structures that are still in here. Peru, as we know, foreground. The condition of these things are just amazing for what's around them. How they kept their shape and stuff, well, that's the enigma of the X Factor. We see this so many times in studying meltology. These are in relatively still good condition compared to what's beside it. And what do we see beside it? Apertures, arches, the shell of this massive structure, what's left of it. Obviously back here, most would call this a mountain. It's what we're taught, we know that. Mountains don't have apertures in them. Look. We see a lot lost in this. If you just look, you can pop out. You can make out so many details, even in this cooked out, mangled up mess behind. Popping a little just more for a little more effect for you. You can see the ghost tapping going on up here. You can still make out the apertures by the thousands. By the thousands. The complexity of these structures is just absolutely incomprehensible. Pocket of survival, C14 loaded, apertures everywhere, climbing up, another pocket of survival, another pocket of survival up here, this over here. Whatever this is here looks different than here. This could have been huge, some huge renditioning, concrete molding that comes up, takes a right angle and goes over this. Another pocket of survival right here. All the way down. You can see it. Aperture, structure, right angles, color differentials. Pocket of survival. Look at the blocking going on right here. Look at the expansion of this material up here. You can still see the right angles lost in the melt. Coming down over this aperture here, this column piece with an aperture with the expansion coming out off of it here, coming to the foreground, eating into this side right here with all this expansion coming up. All of it connected. all of this. Massive building melted. Looking down in a so-called valley. Valleys are where the melt has come down and the structures on each side or at different sides have come together where the melt leveled out at the bottom, causing what we say valleys. Before ground, cooked out block. Look, the C14 loaded, red brick, viscous. In the front here too, look at the brick ash. Still see block. Still see the structure in here just mangled and pulverized into the melt. Coming out, coming down here. Everybody's living their lives around there, not knowing what's around them. As we come over here and we see the terracing once again that's so famous in so much of the realm. Again, many of these pics have been showed many a times, but the first time for the first person seeing this, and that's where we need to come across as meltologists. We need to show every pic like it's the first time anybody's ever seen this pic and don't know what they're looking at, because that's being a meltologist. Each one teach one. Teach one, each one. And that's what we're doing right here. Obviously, person going in here, aperture as we call it, coming up the stairs that are lost in the melt. Scorching going up this column piece here that form the opening or outside part of this structure, this aperture. C14 loaded, a lot of red brick C14 still in it, but cooked out here. And as we see the cooked out, a lot of times you want to follow it because it's showing you the pathway of the electrical energy from the X factor heat flowing through at different temperatures, causing block, still leaving some brick, causing balloon rocking, bouldering, blocking, coming down here, cooked out, getting really viscous on this edge of this rock curtain coming here. See it? Look at this aperture right here, how it expanded and half of it is filled out now. The other half is right here. You can see how the heat was coming through here. Look at your very, very cooked out stuff. Okay. This was very hot, blowing out. A lot of these right here expanding to the point where they couldn't expand more, or the energy stopped, rock turning over itself. Again, Peru, site of a melted building, leaving blocks, filled out apertures, cooked out renditions, concrete moldings, right angles, leaving pockets of survival. Everywhere. Everywhere. All I got to do is drag and zoom, and I'm going to find it. Bam, right there. Go here real quick. Drag and zoom. Right here. What's that? Aperture C14, right angle right here. Look at that. Pocket of survival up top here. Blocking as it goes up. More structure, cooked out, blocking. This right here is slipped. Look at this. See this little piece of evidence right here? Look how cockeyed it is. Look how it's sinking down this way. It's not level the way it should be. It's sinking down, and you can see the expansion here. And look at the melt. Look at this piece right here. See this coming up from here and coming down where it's cooked out and scorchy, and it looks like it just flows right down, because that's what it did. It pulled it out like a piece of gum. This wall right here, that ends with it. What this is hooked to is out here in the melt down here now, in all this brick ash and all this stuff that has flowed down. You can see it right here, flowing in, flowing over all these, the rest of the chunks from this building coming down here. Rock curtaining and overlapping everything in here. Coming out to this right here where it started expanding out here and closing off this here. And of course, all this out here. Look at the size of this massive structure. Just look at the size of this over here. And then let's zoom in here and do this. A little hazy because this is far away. But we see this huge ghosting of what used to be here. Let me do something for you here, see if I can make it pop even better. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Apertures, look. Right angles, right angles, right angles. Column, inset, back here, aperture structures all up in it. Right angles here, expansion coming off. This over here. Column coming up, expansion, look at the right angle behind it here. This cooking out and sinking down in the melt. Seen these many times before. Structure over here, structure over here, with this being repurposed into a road to climb all the way up this melted structure. But we still see apertures, little pockets of survival in here. Looks like a column piece, arch, aperture up here, structure in the inside of it. And as we look at these kind of things, you always want to pay attention at your elevation you're looking at, okay? That lets you read the melt as far as the perspective you're looking at it from. We're looking at it at a downward angle here, and I'm noticing these right here. Sliding down into the melt. Look. See this structure here? See it? It went all balloon rock, okay? But this is part of the structure. Look at it in here. Arch. Expansion. Here. Sliding down into the melt. Sliding down into the melt. These here.
I'll have the eagle eyes to see that one.
Structure, right angles. Sinking down in angles into the melt, flowing down into the melt, causing all of this right here. Look at this right here. The face of this structure right here, all cooked out. You can still see your apertures, your arches, columns being lost in the melt, and it's sliding. It's just sinking down. Look at the angle.
To the right. Look at that to the right of it. It's hanging off the edge.
Walls. Look at these.
To the right. Go to
this
the right.
Expansion coming off of this. Sliding down into the melt. We see it right here.
Zoom out and go just to the right.
This one right here, look.
Yeah, no. Oh, no. Look at that.
See how it's different? You got C14. You can still see structure compared to this over here that looks all cooked out rubble. You can still see
the tower. It's the corner of the tower.
Apertures, the structure in the melt. It went all balloon.
Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
Buoyancy and density down into the melt.
Can you hear me all right, Dino?
And it continues on down here. And it continues the same in here. What's this? Center pick. Balloon rocking at the base. See it? Boom, boom, boom across. You go right up above it. You got a pocket of survival. Renditions. Looks
can
like
you hear me, Dean?
Getting filled out here.
Dean.
And this is on the side,
Dean.
way the hell up here.
Calling Dean.
This is my altitude. Over here as well. Center pick. You can see the ghosting renditioning here that got cooked out. Look at the right angle and the as cooked out as it is. See it? Coming out here, aperture in here, expansion coming off. Aperture's up in here. Expanding off the side of this here. This looks like it might have been a rendition of some sort. Expansion up here, coming down here, different blockiness coming down. All melted structure. Oh, we got somebody come in. Are you there, Laughing Eagle? Let me bump out, crew.
I've been all
See
here
who's
all the
here.
while.
Thought I heard somebody.
Can you hear me?
No, I guess not. I'll dive back in. Melted Red Brick University, please like, share, and subscribe. We're the forefront of meltology. We're a university level forum. The studies, the melted structures caused by the X Factor event. Get back into it, crew. I'll get back into it, crew. Peru. Coming up here. At so-called ground level, people are living out of these still, repurposing them for their use today. But still, ground level, look at this. Coming down in, all cooked out, going block, going slaty up here as well. And in this expansion, you can still see block, brick, rubble. The shell of this wall here is all chewed out behind it, just leaving this shell. And right here proves it. Going down into whatever is down here. These go deep, multi-level, that were once above, but now are below. This wall completely cooked out, going block and twerking, going into many different shapes. Coming across, forming all of this here, getting cooked out here, leaving brick ash in here. That's why these plants are growing in here. They're feeding on that nutrient-rich material. And it's completing the rest of the structure. And everything we see here is melted structure. Look right here. Look how the expansion blocked out here, met here, causing this here. The melt still expanding here. Coming up from the bottom, we can see it. There might be some vegetation in there, but the brick was expanding, the material was expanding and climbing up, and then stopped, forming what we see now. This is where the energy was releasing right here, causing the massive expansion of these blocks, eating up renditions, apertures, whatever is in the melt here. And then the energy stopped, leaving this scorchy, more darker material than the rest of it. We did that one, or one just like it. That one we started with. My apologies, crew. I'm just going to let me get to where I need to be. This is where I need to be. It jumped out of order on me. Peru, coastline, part of the coastline. Again, massive structure in the back. All, you can still see cooked out, leaning back into the melt, sinking down. Coming out here, all this building up here, out here that used to be a lot higher is all right here now, out in the vastness. sinking down and expanding and eating everything up this way to where the floodwaters came in, leaving pockets of survival, walls, apertures, structures flowing into the melt this way, sinking down this way, these flowing out, these sinking down at an angle here, these sinking down straight down, falling back. And then this one here in the front, pretty much staying vertical on this column here. A little light because it's so cooked out, but leaving pockets of survival that are sinking down into the melt. Down below the floodwaters now. And then this piece in the foreground here, block, brick, apertures, expanding out this way over the melt. This up here, pocket of survival right here, aperture in there. All of this expanding, rock curtaining over here. Pockets of survival everywhere up in here. Our objective is to wake people up and help them understand meltology. One piece of evidence at a time, or sometimes again, like that one. Fuck. He's way jumped out of order on me. Coming on. Again, Peru, that's where we're at tonight, crew. Leaving structures like this, still in relative good condition. All X-factored. Renditions still pretty much intact, so as we can tell kind of what they look like. These here as well look cooked out. I see heat damage on the shoulders. The face have maybe been retouched, but these in themselves cooked out, scorched, heat damaged. As this one is down here. Peru is famous for the Nazca lines. If you've never heard of the Nazca lines, been a hot topic for a long time in the conspiracy theorist fields. Now we're looking at it as meltology eyes, understanding what the Nazca lines are on. They're on melted buildings, melted structures. And I find this one interesting. This is a famous one of what they call the hummingbird, and how they were put there by who they were put there by for whatever reason they were put there by. They're in the melt. And not only the obvious renditions of whatever this is, but these lines go on with these here. These long lines that go for forever. Some of the circular patterns. We're all seeing ghosting in the melt. This looks flat, but it is not. As you can tell right here, there's an expansion going on. Right here. See it? Follow my cursor. Pocket of survival. Right here. In the expansion. You can still see block apertures being lost in the melt. But we see a huge rock curtain expansion coming over right here and coming over this right here. People get lost in the lines, the mystery of the lines. Rightfully so, they're very interesting and under investigation. But first and foremost, we stick with the evidence, which is meltology. And with that, we see obvious, zooming in, apertures lost in the melt. Pockets of survival, columns lost in the melt. And that's just the top of this massive structure here. It's gone, just leaving what the melt settled it all in here. But look at the walls coming off over here. Look at the side of this structure and these walls, these columns coming up, cooked out, leaving apertures, little pockets of survival still left. You can see them. See this wall coming out right here? Lined with apertures on the back side, lined with apertures on the front side. You can see this wall coming down and sinking down into the melt here, with these at an angle going with it. And that goes all the way across. These walls sinking down into the melt over here. See them? Getting lost in the melt. The expansion coming up here and these sinking down here. Coming back this way. Leaving what's rest called the tops of this melted structure. But the rest of these things went up much higher. They're just now lost in this melt here.
Can you hear me, Dino?
I can, yes.
I was on all that while you couldn't hear me. So I just had to reboot.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, mate. Pain in the fucking ass.
As you can tell back here, look at the way this is leaning down and into the melt. Look at these lines. These are all what's left of this wall structure, these column structures, but they're sinking down into the melt here, and this one's sinking down over it here, and they're all lined with renditions. Underneath, behind, in the melt. See? Lines this way. Boom, boom, boom. Coming out, sinking this way into the melt. Expansion coming out here, getting lost into the melt. And then we get into this very cooked out material back here. This was very hot. You can still see chunks of it left. See, look at that. Apertures leaning back, hanging out off the top of this very cooked out part of the structure. These things are on a massive scale. And that's one of the first things you have to learn about meltology, is from the micro to the macro and everywhere in between, we see the same melt, the same renditions, just at a different size.
Most people can't get over the huge size of the buildings.
No.
Another perspective says, Spartan, have you been kicking off your meltology site? Don't understand. I don't think I've been kicked off my own site. Have I, Dean?
No. Actually, no. In fact, you've been working very hard, as your work shows.
Contrary to a lot of people's opinion, my demise is it's not foretold, my friends. Well, blessed greetings for people. Greetings. How you doing? Big hugs from the wife there for me.
Dad, brick love, honey.
It's Messa Mel. How you doing? Brick love, everybody. I've been here, but my laptop's been doing doing somersaults. No, I'm Nancy. How you doing? Brick love. Three fingers. Brick love. AIB. Brick love too. And I was in Dean couldn't hear me, so I've had to reboot it in the end. Right. Well, back now.
Right.
Anyway, good. Please carry on, mate.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
That's all right. I've got some bits, you know me. I've got some bits. I've always got some bits. We're gonna have a little laugh a little bit later on. I've got some memes for us to have a little chortle and chuckle at. And of course, I've got some evidence to show the evidence.
Excellent.
You know what I say about evidence, mate?
Stick to them.
That's it. Stick to the evidence. Stick to the evidence. Don't worry about anything else. Just stick to the evidence.
Like this here. This shows us this was very cooked out, viscous as hell. And what we're seeing here is just the rest, what's left of these massive structures in a melt flow. As you can tell, look, foreground, you can still see the right angles of the tops of these buildings lost in the melt. This wall feature coming across here, taking a right angle, cooked out, but then leaving this wall feature here that is still brick, still C14 laden, and cooked out and disintegrated here, will pick back up over here and then lost in the melt. And then as we go out, obviously, it's right there in front of us. Very cooked out, expanded. Look at the twisting of the columns. Look at how these renditions, these structures here are coming down this way here. And this one's kind of sinking down this way here. This one's pretty much still level here, this arch. This one getting cooked out and expanded out with the melt, dropping down and sinking down. Popped it a little more for you if you can't see it. Look at all these up here. Bam, 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 bam. This is all the top of this wall. Look at how this one's twisting down into the melt, as these are pretty much level this way, level this way, level this way, level this way, level this way. Then this one goes tweaky this way. This one is sinking down and back. This one's sinking down and back. And they're all getting ate up. And it flows all of this back here, lost in the melt, flowing out there in the sea of brick ash. And all these back here as well. I'll do a few more here, and then I'm getting meme hungry myself.
You don't even try putting the pressure on me, young man. I've got enough of that going on elsewhere.
Oh, I understand. Again, another rendition of the famous Nazca lines that's on top of the melt. These happened. These were part of whatever structures were on the top of this melt. And this proves it here. Walls coming right through it. Aperture stuck to it. The expansion come from the bottom up. These were all part of the buildings, part of the melt in some way. There's no other way to explain it. They're in the melt. These are like terracings, if you will, of many of those sites we've seen before. They're just very cooked out and sunk down into the melt, like this wall here, this massive melt expanding out here, getting sunk down, lost in the melt, along with these columns or whatever these are, leaning backwards and sideways in the melt. Another rendition, a famous one. On the side of this melted structure, this thing rests. And it is been X-factored. And I see structure right angle in here. I see apertures down in here. I see wall feature coming down here. I see this here, this gap here with apertures in it sinking down into the melt. In fact, as we back out, we see this part of the building back here. Pocket of survival, leaning this way.
Nice.
Into the melt.
John just on their face again. In the mud. They're in the mud. They're in the brick flood. Nice catch, Dino. Look at that shit there.
And then we understand meltology. This is just the top of this melted structure, twisting and turning into the melt. But then look at the flow of the melt. It came down this way, expanding, cooking out, just hot as you can get. And then it flowed around this chunk, this big chunk, come down, expanded, and then flowing down here. This is just lost in a sea of melt itself, as massive as it is.
Yeah. Hang on a minute, Dave. Local native 420. Long time no melt. Much brick love to the familiar.
There you are, local native.
Yeah, great to see you in the comments. Are you having a rest now, are you?
No. Again, this is the coastline of Peru, along the coastline. And we find these features, which we've seen many a times. We call cuberting, going vertical. All structures X-factored with, again, right angles, pockets of survival, arches, cooked out, columns, all of it.
The apertures as well.
Yeah. Shifting and sinking down into the melt. This wall feature coming off right here, this is the outer shell of this structure here. Popping off right here. You can see it. And then it goes straight down along with the rest in the melt. Leaving this brick ash rich layer in here for all these plants to grow on top of. Same with over here, this expansion here. As you look back in there, we see apertures, right angle, red brick. All of this sinking down into the melt. A big chunk of it resting out here in the floodwaters. High elevation pick, coastline of Peru. Massive structure here. Start on the right side real quick. Structure sinking down into the melt. Columns, red brick, pockets of survival getting lost in the melt, getting cooked out up top, leaving this wall structure here, still showing us coming around, snaking down, getting expanded down and pulled down into the melt with this massive structure coming behind here. As we follow it, it snakes around here and follows down all the way, snaking its way, rock curtaining over, oozing out, very cooked out material here, slipping down into the melt. Look at the angle of these apertures right here. Column that's coming down this way in the melt.
They got to be kidding when they're talking about building this shit.
And then as we look up here, this whole massive structure is getting cooked out. You can see the flow of the melt, the building sinking down here. The flow of the melt, the action of the melt coming here around this chunk still remaining here for it to flow. Watch. See it? Right here? The flow of the melt here, dragging all of this down. The brick ash being cooked out and still seeing it rich right here. With ghosting of the structure, still being visible, losing it in the melt right here. Massive scale, high elevation. We're looking at this pocket of survival that made this part of this building right here, look, still present. Columns coming up here, rock curtaining over here, getting melted right here is your melt point. Right here is where the X factor energy just disintegrated these buildings and just pulling them down into brick ash here. Look how these coming down here, expansion, ballooning out, snaking down, because this was very hot and malleable and viscous coming down into the melt. Leaving over here pockets of survival in here, coming all the way down here.
Steps.
Steps coming here, all the way down.
Uh-huh.
And then this wall feature, pockets of survival, just still present right here. Look at this right angle expansion coming out of this. Look at this attaching here, coming out, filling out this aperture right here. Look at the twisting of these things here.
Incredible, that one. Incredible.
And as incredible as all that is, and you can still look over here and look at the lines. Look at the like lightning bolts. Look at this energy flow coming out up these apertures here.
Fractal, isn't it? Just like the
Yes.
lightning bolt.
Very fractal. And we have this one over here snaking down as well. Again, we're looking down at a high elevation pick. This is looking down. These things are sinking down into the melt. They're not standing up, they're sinking down into the melt sideways in a lot of cases. And this column here, I mean, come on. Look at the angle of this thing right here, leaning back. Look at this here and how this wall feature is coming here and expanding out around whatever is left of this massive chunk here, coming out here. And this wall feature is just, it's melting down into the melt with it. This stair feature, or whatever this feature is, coming down into the melt with it. And as incredible as all that was and is, we finally get to this down here. This is the lowest part of what we can see of this massive structure. But look at the pancaking. Look how cooked out it is at this corner. Look at the material here. Look how cooked out it is. We still see C14 and stuff here. Water down here. Structure here. But look at how it pancaked it down. Look at how cooked out it is. And then we start getting into these streaks of scorched out apertures, compressed structure coming all the way this way. Look at how it blends in right here. Look at this line that shoots across. Look at this cooked out line here. This is this X factor energy just shooting its way. Look at below how crystallized underneath the water is right here, or right at the water line. You can still see ghosting in the water of the apertures here, but this was very white. This is as hot as you can get before brick ashing out. But look at how it just ghosted and blended all this way across here to where we have this structure sinking down sideways into the melt and leaving.
So where your arrow is, just to the right. That's fucking top of an arch right there.
Yeah.
Go to your right bit and down. Down. There. Archway. Fucking hell.
Yep.
You can just see that's just the angle as it slipped down into the melt of that angle.
Yeah.
Front of the building. Incredible.
Look at this in here. This is the outer shell of this here. Balloon rocked out, cooking out, blocking here, big aperture here. Whatever this is lost in the melt here. This is all getting pushed down and shoved together. Look at the angle on it. This one's coming down this way. This one's here. And then this piece comes around and wraps around in here with all this here expanding out of the melt, leaving this effect right here.
It's that explosive expansion. I was keep saying that these buildings blew up, mate.
Yes, absolutely. Again, Peru, shoreline, cooked out, all up in here, over here. Well, you know, column, pocket of survival, rock curtaining over the top here, huge aperture in here. This thing is sinking down, all of it into the melt. Over here, look, aperture sinking down into the melt, twisting and turning sideways, overlapping others right here, sinking down into the melt, expanding here, pushing in on this feature here, expanding it out towards us here, pushing this to where it's expanding this way, but then these blocks are still vertical, or I mean horizontal, getting it lost in the melt. Coastline of Peru. C14 ridge down below. A lot of bird shit on here, I'm sure, but this is all cooked out up here. You can tell. Cooked out structure with brick ash laden on top. Blocking. Huge aperture over here. Chunks out here in the water, out in the flood waters.
Oh, look, we're both on the wildlife today.
I love wildlife. Again, Nazca lines. We're looking down. High elevation pick, looking down. And we see all this cooked out whitish material, all this brick ash. Not only that, we see the flow lines, the X factor energy. I mean, look at, just follow the lines and how they fractal out. And all of these are cooked out melted structure, getting cooked out very quickly. And the energy flow is just shooting through here. The more cooked, the more white, the more hot. The less white, the less hot, but still hot as fuck. Leaving these lightning, these Rorschach, if you will, patterns. This big mass over in the top right corner, melted structure that is melted and flowed down into here. And the X factor energy, the heat just coming up from the bottom, cooking it out, leaving pockets here and there of building. Leaving this huge chunk of this building for us to still observe. Apertures everywhere in here. Aperture here, flowing out, sinking down into the melt. This energy shooting its way through here. Look at this. Look at how they just cut right through here. And all these buildings just sinking down, shifting onto itself into the melt. Really exploding out right here. Look at this. This energy coming up from the bottom, climbing up, and then bam, right here, bam, blowing out right here.
You can see it how it flowed up there from the left there. Incredible. Melted Truth says, great stuff, Dean. Co-stars are all melted. This is great stuff.
Thank you, Brick Love, man. I hope you all are enjoying it as much as I do. But you just feast your eyes and you see the melt. You see the melt. And it's all cooked out over to here. Now, as we come up top, C14 rich, brick ash rich, because they're farming it. All of this back here, melted structure, just cooked out white, just sinking down into mass, into the melt. Pockets of survival here and there, showing apertures, stairways, renditions, whatever these were, getting lost into the melt. And then as we come over here, again, X factor energy coming from the bottom up. Look how it just, this is all melted structure in here. But look how the X factor energy came up, and you can see the pattern coming up and just cooking everything out up here, leaving darker material here, but just blowing it out, all out right here.
Yeah, we know the grid just overloaded.
Yes.
Overloaded, mate. Shot everything up. That charge went straight up. There's like a little flash photography for you.
Yeah.
Show you. And Dean showed plenty of shots of lightning, that fractal nature, and this is all replicated with the actual charge, and then even in the melt.
Indeed. Like an X-ray snap, you know.
Yeah,
this flash happened so fast, and it just did what it did, and it just left what it did, you know. I'll just pop it a little bit for you to get a pretty good, there you go. X factor energy right there. Look how it just blew out and just destroyed this structure. This structure was way out over here. It just blew everything out, gone, leaving this just incredible. Incredible. Coastline, Peru. Penguins, I guess, like sunny weather too. But look, over here, just very cooked out structures hanging out in the melt flow down here, went all balloon rocky, churning, settling down on itself. Very viscous, popping, melting, flowing. can see it come this way. This line here, aperture, sinking down this way into the melt. This one sinking down this way into the melt. This stuff is pretty much facing us, but sinking down into the melt. And then this piece over here, expanding and shifting into this piece here. Look at this line up here. Comes across, comes here, sinks down. This is sinking down and causing a pinch point right here.
Yeah, and it's not coral.
No.
Please don't think it's coral.
Coastline of Peru. This thing can be seen for miles and miles away. Okay. This is not a sand dune. This is a melted structure, leaving the rendition of what was here before the melt. We can still see structure in it.
Flooded over, isn't it?
Yes.
Melted and flooded over.
These are walls. Look at block. Aperture structure. Look at this wall coming off right here. See apertures in it. This one here, this wraps around. This is all melted structure. This is what's left that's any kind of recognizable. And then we come down here. And the usual suspects. Again, cooked out, going crystalline here. Twisting, turning. Sinking down on itself. This shifting this way. This coming down on top. This one coming forward, getting squeezed out, pushed out towards us. Terracing here. The structure melting down and down and down. And look at what it did here. Down. Being supported by what's underneath.
Nice picture, mate.
Thank you.
Those last two, I like the X-ray image one was the best, actually.
They're quite interesting. Peru. I'm sure there's nice little spots to grab all kinds of libations and appetizers, you know, and everybody living their life, but they're living on the top of melted structures. And here is what's left of the structure that they're living on top of. Aperture here, column piece coming up here, all expanding out, getting cooked out again. Look at your lines. These coming down this way. Apertures here. You can see the blimp of this column piece here with the expansion coming out and underneath pancaking down, but coming down at this angle from about a 2 o'clock to a 7 o'clock angle. And all of it along here, look at all this. All of its structure. Look how evenly spaced these are. Boom.
Reminds you a bit of Cappadocia. Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing. But you know, you just look at it, you know its structure. Look at those right angles. Yes. And the pointy nature to the tops of them, like roofs. It's just, and they're all just leaning back.
Yep.
All leaning back.
Into the melt. Pushing its way, expanding this way, getting lost where it is. Again, Nazca. These are melted structures with these renditions that were on them before the melt. This is what they look like after the melt. Arch, aperture. Apertures all over in here. Sinking down into the melt, turning its way down into the melt. That one and this one. Same thing. Melted structure. Completely like ice cream, like butter.
Butter over there. Butter. It's butter.
And these things leaning back into the melt, leaving the imprints of what used to be here on the sides, on top of these melted structures. That one again, I won't get into it, but another angle. That one, we did that one, different angle. Again, this, showing this side more of the expansion here, coming out, coming down, sinking down. You can see the angle. It's just coming down, slipping down into the melt. The expansion off the side of here. See the depth out here, then it countersinks back in here. All this is expansion and going down into the melt. This guy here, part of the melt. These weren't carved. These were there on the structures that got X factored and is left in the melt. That's what the evidence proves.
Stick with the evidence. Always stick with the evidence.
Again, this one. This is more lower elevation. It's pretty high up here on this plateau, if you will. But still, it's the side of this structure is getting melted out and sinking down into the melt. Again, renditions. Same one, but just different angle. All this on the side of the structure is being lost in the melt. You can still make out apertures, right angles, structure, all in here. How they did this, what they looked like before, I'd sure like to know. I bet they were just incredible. And then this big piece back here, obviously sinking down into the melt.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing how what they did with these buildings. It's just incredible.
It is.
Mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling.
All in the melt. This back here, obviously, melted structures, leaning back and to the right, down into the melt, back. All of it sinking back, sliding down. This side over here, sinking down, A-frame and coming out, sinking down into the melt. And then this over here, same thing. Different heat differentials, but they're all sinking back into the melt. All of it before the melt, looking at it after the melt. And all this out here too. We did that one. Son of a bitch. All right. I'm going to take a break, sir. My friend. You still here?
Yes, I'm still here. I've been listening to you, mate. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, I've been listening very, very quietly.
Right on.
I was a little bit ill before the show, so I've just been listening very quietly. And amazing evidence, bro.
Thank you. And I have more, but I need to go see a guy about a dog. And
All right. Well, well, I won't start until you come back then.
Okay. I'll be back shortly.
All right, mate. You can be shortly as you like, but hurry up. Listen, great stuff from Fervent there. He is on the case. As you heard from his wonderful breakdown of the evidence, it's incredible when you start looking at things in with the right perspective. We kept saying that the electrical charge and heat came from below, and Fervent proved it yet again with his evidence from the Nazca lines. So you have to read them, be able to read them properly. Yes, you have to be able to see them properly and to understand the correlation of the charge melting the buildings, as you saw. Wonderful evidence. And Melton True says, wow, what a fascinating new perspective on the Nazca lines. Exactly. It's brilliant evidence. It's brilliant research. And he's got more to show. Which is still amazing.
All right. Thank you.
Are you back now, young man?
Yes.
That was what I like. Fast stuff. I don't know if you got your phone on or not. If turn the volume down a bit, turn it off, or the volume off.
It's off.
Just that when you come in, it was very hissy for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's mine. But anyway, should we have a look at a few memes, mate? What do you think?
Oh yeah. Yes.
I think we I'm not going to do them that often, because we're not streaming that often. But I will do some tonight because I had them ready. And of course, remember, no memes were politically assassinated, abused, no backstabbing or coercion to appear in memes of the day. And as always, any likeness to any person who's alive, dead, or fictitious, or anyone who thinks they're good enough to be memed, it's just it's just a coincidence, and we don't care. Anyhow, let's do some memes. Even though I was a bit sick before I started the stream. And that's two. Yeah, listen, that's 2 days in a row, mate. I told you what happened yesterday. Don't disclose it, but I told you what happened yesterday. And at least I didn't do that today. I wasn't too happy about it either.
Yeah.
So I think they're poisoning me. Or they're trying to anyway. Oh shit! Do you know what? I ain't even got my shit ready though. Because I rebooted, and when you reboot, everything comes off. All the works come off.
That's right, it does.
I've got to go and get it. So you need to just fluff whilst I get it, mate. I'll be back in a sec.
All right. Here we are. Tech, we got to deal with it, and we do, and we always come back. And while he's rebooting, I'm just going to go through the chat. I love you all. Melted Truth. Deb, there you are, darling. We'll talk. I understand. I am Nancy. Mesa Melt, Doug. Local Native 420. Been a while, brother. Sista. Whoever you are, we love you. I love you. And Brick love to you. One love to you and yours. Another Perspectives. No, we haven't went anywhere. Spartan hasn't either. In fact, you ain't seen nothing yet. James, Big Jimmy, there you are, brother. I want to talk with you, and I'll be getting a hold of you, man. I got something I want to throw your way. See what you think. From one veteran to another. Odin's Beard always here. Three Fingers, there you are. There you are. James, of course, my brother. I love you. Brick love to you. And there you all are. AB, AIB, Hello to you. And of course, we're going to go back in. I'm going to dive back into evidence, actually, and go through some more until Spartan comes back and Laughing Eagle comes back, and we'll get into some memes. Let me read this next comment here, see what we got. The Melted Truth. Dean, I love you too. Rick Love. Leanne. Here we go. I think he's coming back in. But I hope you all understand that, we grow, and things that happen in our lives happen in other things like groups, people getting together, and things change. And, it's part of growing and everybody learning together, because we are together in this. And we know we're trying to educate and teach people this, and we know how much backlash and right out hate a lot of times from sometimes those that we love the most when you confront them with this information, because that's how fragile people are in their minds. It's this kind of information is very hard to accept for most, for all really. Just some are able to absorb it and comprehend it on a level, and that's what you have to learn about this. Is it takes time for a lot of people in their own different way, and we have time, and we're still coming on strong and pursuing Meltology and advancing those that want to become more involved in it. And Laughing Eagle was put out. We're approaching in different formats now that allow us much more opportunity and time to bring things forward, and we do it for you out there. So I'm going to go ahead and add stream again and get into my evidence for you. And I'm going to try to find a spot I want to take you to until Laughing Eagle gets back.
I'm back, mate.
And
can you hear me? I'm back.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to jump out now. Come on back.
I'm just making sure you can hear me, because sometimes I think you can't hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, sometimes I can't, but then when I can, obviously, I think it's StreamYard or the tech or something. I don't get it.
Can you hear me now then?
Yes.
That's all right. That's all I need to know.
Yes. Remember that old commercial? Can you hear me now?
Oh, listen, don't even start. Don't even go there. I'll just pack up and leave the studio, mate.
Oh, no.
I will. Anyway, tell me you can see this.
Got it.
If cocaine and Viagra was a look. Yeah, indeed. It shouldn't be allowed out on a Saturday night if it looks like that. I prefer the real King Charles. I said the real King Charles. Perfection. You can't say old Crumbs mummy anymore. She's gone.
Yes.
Oh, no. Get rid of them all. Weed v alcohol.
Oh, shit. That's good.
Of course. Before marijuanas, after injecting one marijuanas. Boris. Tinder reality.
Oh my God.
Oh, exactly. That's Lemmy from Motorhead. He's dead now, but
yeah.
Oh man. To the backbone. Oh, where's Robin? He's fucked. Yeah, to the backbone. Energy companies set to make over 170 billion in profits over the next 2 years. Now tell them to buy a kettle. Them too. They're fuckers, them too. When a 90s indies band reunites. Oh, mate. That's Matt Lucas says, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dang it, Bobby. I knew that wasn't a portobello mushroom. Oh, no more mushrooms, please. I'm on a diet. Uh-oh. Congratulations to the new slime minister, Lizard Truss. Yeah, they never vote themselves out of power, mate. Absolutely. Status be like, we can wield the ring for good. We just need to vote in the right ring bearer. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, now you feel Frodo. Oh, turning off your TV, reading books and taking psychedelics. The government. How dare you? How dare you not believe in our illusion anymore?
Yeah.
Once I become a parent, I finally understood the scene where Yoda gets so tired of answering Luke's questions, he just dies. I think I'll put that one up before. Oh, quick animal fact number 38. Less than 5% of ducks have attempted world domination. It's a quick animal fact. The key to a successful liftoff is not to run into the firmament.
Look at that.
These people are joking. Crochet gimp suit.
Oh, fuck.
I just couldn't stop laughing. I thought I've got to show that to Dino. I'll put yours in the post already, Dean. Do not wear outside your home for obvious reasons.
Trick or treat, yeah.
Oh, how actors look to you. How actors look to truthers. Oh, God, that gimp suit. Crochet gimp suit. Man. Crazy. Me acting like a gentleman at my friend's house. My friend knows I swear once every 10 seconds. You lying motherfucker. That's what you'd say. You lying motherfucker. Oh. This made me laugh. I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my meme is. I'm the one who makes them. I know how good it is. When others make memes, they make shit. I make good memes because I want to enjoy it. Yes, I want to. That notoriety. I love it.
Yes.
Oh. I don't always give watches to children, but when I do, I stuff it up my ass beforehand. That's so funny. Yeah, wore it up his ass for 23 years or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah.
No fucking way there was 10 million fireflies. Oh gosh, that's the old boy's joke. Today's phrase, please go away. Translation, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Make it short and sweet. When the group chat is having an argument and you see someone mention your name.
Yeah.
I didn't make these. Oh, password incorrect. Password incorrect. Me adds new password. New password cannot be the same as the old password. Me. I've done it. That's it. I'm done. Go and get me a new computer. I've had enough of this. Father's Day. Motherfucker's Day. Motherfucker's Day indeedy.
Yeah.
Indeedy. Ah, yes.
Oh, fuck.
I got it now. I got the formula. That's it. Memes done.
Oh, man, those are fucking gifts. You're fucking kidding me, man.
I know. I won't put that back up. It just killed me.
Oh, shit.
That crochet gimp suit. Never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it in all my long years. Never seen anything like it. How anyone could want to be just for doing it for a laugh. Oh my god!
Wow, those are some knitting, crocheting skills right there.
Oh, listen, Grandma was knitting like you wouldn't believe. Poor hands must have been
she
swollen.
tailored and it's a tailor fit, huh?
Oh yeah, she had to measure him up. All right. Oh, madness of a different type. Right. Let me just fling down this little bit of evidence, Dino, and then you can have it back.
Okay.
Because I ain't got much more time.
Okay.
You know, I might even just shout because just give it to you back because I just feel I feel real rough. My tummy's just doing cartwheels. So I don't think I will show anything.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go and get a hot water bottle and just put it on my tummy, mate. It's very quiet here, so hopefully it will stay that way and I can get a bit of rest. Anyway, listen, yeah, I'm gonna bounce. Listen, guys, I ain't feeling too well, so I'm gonna leave you in the wonderful, capable hands of Mr. Fervent with that wonderful rock star demeanor. We'll be back again soon. Don't know when, but soon. Dino, keep killing them with the evidence. You know
I will.
You know what the mantra is about this show?
Yes.
About the group?
Yes.
Stick with the evidence.
Always.
Stick with the evidence. Anyway, listen, group. Take it easy. Remember, we are the survivors of the survivors. And I mean that literally. No more clues.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dean, I didn't mean to.
It's all good. You know the deal. We haven't gone anywhere. That's for sure.
No, of course not. We're just selective now. We get to have a good rest and be selective. But every time we come on, it'll be heavyweight, as you know. Anyway, listen, Dean, I'm going to bounce. You take care. I will try and grab you for a coffee in the morning.
Okay.
I'll leave it a little bit later because I know you'll be fluffing after the show. So
yes.
But I'll try and get you tomorrow morning. Anyway, everybody else, take care of yourself. Thanks for popping in. It's always the same. It's much love, one love, Brick Love.
Brick Love.
I'm out.
Brick Love, hope you feel better. All right, crew. Wow. Memes. Wow. Some things you just can't burn out of your psyche. They're just melted in there. And that was one of them. Wow. What a knitting project. But no, Jeffrey, you missed a little bit of evidence. We're in Peru tonight with me, Fervent Heat, Dino, and we're going to dive back in. Indeed, we are. And here we go. Again, you know me, sometimes tech happens. If I'm out, I'll be back in on my phone, but I'm going to bump through some stuff here and highlight some stuff. You know, we broken down the melt from micro to macro and everywhere in between. And it's very compelling, all of it. And like Laughing Eagle, Spartan Red has said before, when you research meltology, you really have to expand your vision. That's why we fly high, we fly straight, we fly together, because when we do that, we're able to cover more, if you will, right? Everybody's got their favorite ways of looking at the melt. And it's very good to get rounded as a meltologist and get yourself used to breaking down every level of the melt. And we're going to do that. Now, I was bumping through Peru. Obviously, I wanted to bring you Peru tonight, which has been researched many, many, many times by, well, Spartan Red himself, first and foremost, has hit Peru and everywhere else extensively for a long time now. And many meltologists that have come along have continued that. And it won't stop, because Peru is just another one of the places of this melted realm that just provides so much fascinating evidence. And I'm going to get into that. Just a couple more picks, and then I want to get into something else here. Here we go. This pick, Peru. Coastline. Floodwaters out here, as you can tell. You come in from, you got the sand brick ash area, and then it's cooked out material that comes up. And as you see in the foreground here, in this more C14 laden stuff here, how it's sinking down into the melt. See this coming down here, this column piece, aperture getting filled out here, right angle right here. But as you come down to the bottom, this is where the melt is. This is where this loses its shape completely. And it's flowing all out here, down and into the melt. See, and this goes down, like, not only are these things disintegrating and sinking down into brick ash, they don't just flow straight out. Everything underneath this thing is turned into this. That's why it's sinking down like it is into its own footprint. You can see it, look. Coming down and then slipping into the melt. All of this is getting drugged down into the melt. Turning, like becoming face up, losing its definition, going down into the melt. Wall structures, apertures, everything. These were all these before the melt, they were all perfect structure. Now they're just sinking down and sliding into the melt. Look at all this up here. Look at this piece here. Follow your line. As this up here is getting cooked brick ashed out, you still got some solidness to it up here. Aperture. You follow your line across here. We get into a aperture, another big aperture in here, expansion coming out, filling it out here. This wall piece here, we're losing it into the melt. This big chunk, as we come across here and see this, how it comes out here and then comes here, this is in the foreground. This side and this side is behind it. This huge piece here has blown out at the bottom. See it? Look at this, part of the structure here. This used to be up. This used to be up, and it is cooked out underneath it and slid back, slamming into this here. Boom, boom. See how it's resting on this? You can see it. See the shadow coming off of it that it casts? This piece here, coming down, sliding, sinking into the melt, cutting off this big aperture right here. Look at this arch. It's expansing, shifting outwards. It's not like this straight across, standing up like it should be. This is shifting out and going wonky and going down, and it's attached to this pocket of survival up top here. This right angle. This wall feature over here. Look, you can still see the structure. Look at this outer shell right here. right angle right here, expansion, cutting off this aperture right here. Look at this aperture column, but look at the line. See how it's coming down this way? See how this right here is balloon rocking out, disintegrating, going down into the melt here, but it's shifting. See this? It's shifting down and into the melt. Showing this piece here sinking this way, this stuff behind here sinking straight down, and then this big chunk, as we talked about before, is losing its state of matter, and it's sinking and sliding its way down and out into the melt. Peru. Coastline of Peru. Coming across, see how this is all kind of like horizontal. You can see it shifting and sinking down into the melt. But then we get over here. Look at the expansion coming off. Look at the rock curtain coming off. Look how this building was just sliding down over itself here. And then hanging out there in the melt, hanging after the X factor energy stopped. And it stopped and it solidified here. You can see the structure up above here. Look. Structure aperture is getting lost and flowing down into the melt. And underneath it, you can see structure apertures. This piece was standing more straight up like this piece here. But the heat and pressure of it up top here and it's getting all cooked out caused this pinch point. See this pinch point right here? This V, if you will. It's bending it over, man. Bending it over. What's left of the top of this structure, you can see completely cooked out down here at the floodwaters. Gone brick, ashy, sand, rubble, and then leaving chunks laying here. These look C14 laden, just laying out there, chunks in the melt. The melt happened, then the floodwaters came in. The evidence proves it. Big chunk sinking down into the melt. Look how it got cooked out down below. Viscous, very viscous. Very hot. Very, very hot. And then everything out there. Look at this. Even though this is all out here in the background, you can pick out the structures and the angle of the melt that they're going in. Let me do something. Just don't want to dally too much, but I want to pop something. You can see this massive structure over here. Follow your ridge line. It's leaning back towards us, and this whole structure is just gone. Look over here. See this going vertical up here? See this big columns, arches, all this underneath it here? Sinking down, getting cooked out into the melt. In fact, you can still see structure right angles up in this huge column piece, if you will, or this remaining. This looks like a big column piece of a blimp that went up to a big arch aperture that is gone and then just fell this way. You follow this right angle straight down here. This is this top of this building and it's angled and falling out into the floodwaters, or where it is before the floodwaters. This whole structure is gone. And then this one here too. And then over here, you can see, look, watch your line here. Look, see this ridge? And it comes up here, and then it comes up here. It comes up here, comes up here, and then we follow our ridge line. These are all sinking back and down into the melt, down into their own footprint, but shifting the structure where it gets lost in the melt. Lines, no dally, crew. I know who I'm talking with. You guys pick this out real fast. This piece here, look at your line right here. Okay, it's cooking out. It's shifting back this way. You can see that going balloon rocky structure right here. All getting disintegrated, collapsing down into the melt. See the apertures in this? Right angle here, aperture. This one going wonky here. This looks like some kind of a right angle aperture here with a piece up here. I mean, y'all just getting rock curtain and lost over the melt. And then it wraps around to this and it kind of twists and hooks onto this part here, which was part of this column of this huge fucking arch. And it's shifting down into the melt. And it's pulling this and it's twisting it right here. Look at this. The pinch point. Come across here, seagull line, if you will, and then it takes a sharp left down here. And this is kind of like it pulling it and twisting it as it sank down this way into the melt. And then this big structure back here behind. You can see it. I'll bump through, just let y'all pick the melt out. I'll do some circling, some zooming for you. Maybe a little of this too, because I love you. Trying to pop some detail for you here. All up in here, melt. Got these dang bugs called cicadas where I'm at, and one is really singing a song out there. I hope you all don't hear them and get distracting. But Peru, look at all this cooked out up here. Now you got C14 in it, you know, it's getting cooked out, but then down here is just rich. I mean, look how rich that brick ash is right there. So you follow it down, you can just see everything just settling down into the melt. Apertures everywhere in here. Angle here, wall features all sinking down into the melt. Every bit of it. Look at this, what's here. Look at this. And then underneath. Right here. Look at this. Outer shell of the structure here, losing it in the melt. All of it all the way down. Coastline, Peru. Blend it a little bit and then back out for you. See it? Big aperture here, aperture, right angles here. All this arch, renditions, everything. This is all melted structured. Lines, wall lines, ridge lines coming down, shifting, sinking down into the melt. Bumping through quick, crew, because I want to get to some stuff for you. Nice little melt pick there, coastline of Peru. Okay, I'm going to bump through these real quick. You know me, I like the water. We're looking down on the top of a melted building. Some would call this an atoll, A-T-O-L, atoll. That's what they're labeled by as geologists do. We're showing you meltology. This is a disintegrated, cooked out, melted structure that went down into its own footprint. You can see the column base underneath it. Wraps around it. It's all melt, all of it. Goes down into the deep. Outside here, we got a pocket of survival, they call part of the atoll, an island. It's above the floodwaters, but you can see the structure in it. Cook out, aperture, this wall piece coming off here, aperture, straight line, follow it all the way here, and we lose it in the melt. This wall feature coming out here, and this just got blown out here, completely cooked out. See it? Wall feature come here, it's getting really cooked out, getting blown out here. We're losing it, and then we pick it up a little bit more right here. Looks like an arch, maybe a double one here. Expansion coming out, extremely hot. Coming to here, then we lose everything down below as we get into the melt. Look down below under the water, under the flood waters. Same cooked out material. We're looking through a filter, the water. But you can make out right angles. You can make out apertures. And everything on top here in the middle is the building caving down onto itself, completely cooking it out over here. We're losing, I mean, there's so much definition in here still, but it's left in the cooked out material. Watch. I'm going to bump down the contrast just a little bit, or the exposure just a little bit, and then I'm going to bump the contrast. And then I'm going to blend it. You can see the ghosting of what used to be there. The pancaking of the structure itself. Look, right here. Look at the lines. Look at the lines. Look over here, how they're vertical over here, apertures, but this is all just pancaking, sinking down. This thing got hit on a massive scale. And then over here in the middle, see all this structure? The top of this structure is right here. See how it goes down? Or it creates all this structure in here. Aperture still up in here. And then as we go over here, hold on a minute. Cooked out. This feature here coming across and then wrapping this way. Look how it's lost. We're losing it in the melt right here. Very cooked out material. This stuff is hot as fuck, man. And it just like formed its way into these crevices. Look how it wraps around what remaining part of this structure right here. Look at that. Look how it wrapped around it. See it? Look at this. Lost structure, aperture right here. Look at this right angle coming off here. Then we lose it down below in the very cooked out, but we still make definition in the lines, some of the right angles. And it blew this out over here. Look at this. How this wrapped around and then blown out right here and then picks up over here. Look at this. Churning right here, and this whole wall feature just blown out, gone, and it goes down into the deep. And then all this over here on this rim. Coming down, sliding down into its own footprint. What's this? Center pick. There we go. See it? Sliding down to its own footprint. Look at all the definition in there. Look at that. Carries on all the way back over here. Look at these apertures. Look at this structure sinking down into the melt and sliding down. Look, windows apertures facing more up and out instead of across. They're sliding down in the melt. All of this is losing itself. Here's your melt right here. It's gone after that. Look. See? So all goes deeper and deeper, and it comes down just in here. This might be the same one, different angle. Looking straight down. Here's that blown out part we were just talking about. Then we followed this way. And this is just another angle of it down into the melt. Look, there's the structure right there. There's the top of this structure right there, underneath the floodwaters. And it stopped before it just cooked completely white and just left some chunks of the top of the structure. See it? See it? Look at this structure right here. Look at this right angle right here. Look at the face of this right here. Sinking back and down into itself. Look at your cooked out material right here. Look at this. See all this dark compared to the white, okay? This is the structure sinking down, and look, it's losing itself. It's falling down and back into the melt right there, man. Look at these arches. Boom, boom. Look at this expansion just sinking down out of the melt. C14 laden right there. This is all cooked out scorchy, and what we're seeing right here, this ridge line of this, see this ridge line? Follow it. Now look underneath it. Structure, red brick, C14 in there. Arch feature here. Expansion getting cooked out here, C14 laden steel. Aperture, structures down below it getting lost in the melt. This is the side of the top of this melted building getting lost into itself. Blowing out and sinking down. Look at your cooked out line here. Look at this over here. And this is this building losing itself into the melt. Another one. Lost in itself. Popping it really good for you so it breaks up the color differentials. See it? Piece of it here. Structure sinking down into the melt. Very cooked out around it. Very, very hot. Some C14 stuff left in here, but look at the blocking right here. Look at the ghost tapping, blocking, and now look at your ghost tapping right here. This is the remains of this structure. See this level here? You can come down into here. Aperture's getting sunk down into the melt, man. Just settling down on itself, leaving these apertures, viscous holes. I would tend to more go with viscous holes in a lot of them because this was so hot. This was bubbling. Look how hot it got over here. Completely cooked out. And we look at this right here. This wall line coming across here is the outer shell of the structure. As it sank and fell back into itself here, we can follow it around here, and we can pick a chunk of structure here on top. We can follow it here. We got structure here. It sank down into itself here, and this wall feature here that still wraps around where it's going all balloon rocky, cooked out rubble, leaving it out outer shell. And then it just is attached to everything into the deep. Another one, atoll, okay? Top of it here, all melted structure, every bit of it, cooked out. Look at the apertures down in here. Sometimes when mess with stuff, it pops detail for you a little bit, just a little bit like that. Different kind of look. It gives you more depth. What's this? Melted structure or massive rendition. You can see expansion coming down. It's kind of like this part of the building is expanded and come down on another part of the building underneath it here. But it looks very interesting to me. Let me do that for you. And then let me do this for you slowly. All sinking down into the melt. And this one, melted structure sinking down into the melt, just completely cooked out, just pooling down on itself. Losing every bit of detail. And then this outer part of the structure, look over here. Oh my. Structure, this outer wall here expanding out, man, wrapping around here. Look at all the definition in here. Structure. Cooked out column structure piece here. Wrapped around to this one over here. Everything in here is just renditioned out. Wall structures coming. Look at this. Right here, right here, right here. What we're looking at here is this part of the part of this side here, it's sinking down into itself. And in my opinion, sinking down into itself and exposing these inner parts of the structure here. Look at the apertures inside here. This here was a different level than this stuff here. This all cooked out and went into the deep here and leaving these architecture, if you will, of this structure still visible here. See it? Aperture. Twisting, just losing itself in the melt. Do this. All right, I won't dally because there's some stuff I want to get to, crew. And I'm going to do that now, actually. When we say we want to be on every level of meltology, that means that we want to cover as much as we can. And that means you got to go macro a lot of times to understand what we're on. We break down the melt everywhere in between micro and macro. And I've shown you examples of this just now. But we need to go higher, and we need to look at the evidence at a different level. And I've done that in Peru, and I'll bring it to you right now. Again, we're high elevation. This is Google Earth, actually, and I chose Google Earth for a reason. Because this is the only fucking image we can get of the layout of this melted realm and the definitions in front of us. And these are some snapshots of Peru around the whole perimeter of Peru. And I'm going to break down some melt real fast. So be quick with your study, crew. Okay. We're over here in, where are we at? Chota. Chiclayo. So if you want to research these areas, there they are. If you want to know where this is at, there you are. Okay. Here we are in Peru. And what we're looking at is Google Earth image down on these structures here, floodwater out here. Now, on a macro level, we're going to break down the melt the same way I just did with you on the more micro level. Okay. Again, we have our heat energy coming from the bottom up, leaving the tops, ridge lines, mountainsides, whatever you want to call them, of these melted structures on a massive, massive, massive scale. When we say the mountains are the tops of melted red brick buildings, we mean it, because we say that there's no such thing as continents. They're all massive melted structures. And we prove it. And I'll show you right now. Focusing right here. Again, we're looking for renditions. We're looking for structure, aperture. Trying to pop it, blend it so it gives you depth and detail. Massive scale here. Right angle, apertures, structure, right angle, structure, wall features, structures, columns, apertures, expansion, right angle, pancaking down onto itself. And we're looking at a high elevation pick. We'll go over here by Bagua Grande. And there's vegetation growing out here because this is very, rich material in some spots for plants to grow. But we're reading the melt looking down. Arch. Wall line, structure, expansion, building, sinking down into this here, into the melt. Behind here, we have this arch feature here, wall feature here, apertures on this side, all getting lost in the melt. All making up the topography of what we're looking at here. All of this structure getting lost in the melt. High elevation. Looking down into the melt. All the twisting, turning, churning, everything going on, we can still pick out detail on a massive scale. Massive scale. What's this? Over Chulacanas. What's this? Let me do something here. Focusing right here. Bring it center. Pop some detail for you. Structure. Look, aperture, cooked out, straight lines. aperture sinking down into its own self. Look at this. Column, column, column. Big arch right here. Wall structure coming up here. Another column piece here. Fucking massive arches here. And they're coming down. They're falling down in and pancaking against each other. Heat differential show you that. See the arch hooked onto this structure that is vertical here. And this is fallen, causing this feature here. Coming into this feature here, coming down over this here. Sinking down into itself. We live on something incomprehensible from what it used to look like. And I can pick anywhere. I can go like this. I'll go here and then I'll go bam and drag it right here and I'll come right here. Structures sinking down onto themselves into the melt, causing valleys, hills, mountain ranges, you name it. It's all melted structure. Come on, give me that contrast. There we go. Now we're over this. If you want to research it, look at it yourself. There you go. Please take this information and share it. Please take this information and research. Dive into it more. Look, we're looking down on this part of Peru. This is Google Earth, granted. But this is supposed to be through the algorithms and the information provided us by the elite, if you will. This is what we're supposed to fucking live on, okay? So this is their information I'm showing you. And I'm showing you that their information is telling us that these mountain ranges, all this shit they're calling what they're calling it, are actually melted structures. I can keep dragging all night long and you're going to pick it out. Look at it. You tell me that's not fucking structure. Big column. Big fucking apertures up in here, just sinking down, losing in the definition of it. Look at this up here. Under LOC. Look at the columns. Look at it's getting lost in the melt down in here, and it's all structure underneath it. And I can drag, like I said, anywhere in here. And I'll show you the melt. Another part of Peru over Quito or Los Bancos or wherever this is at there. Look at this feature coming across over here. Out here is all melted structure to the point where it's covered with vegetation. And they're only showing us parts of what's left here. Okay, but this whole mountain ridge line, whatever you want to fucking call it, is nothing but melted structure. See? Look at the size of this here. Look at the expansion coming off here in the fucking renditions, apertures, everything again, but on a massive scale. Massive scale. What do we live on? What are we on? We're on melted structure. That's what we're on. Look at this over here in the vegetation. Okay, in the vegetation. Come on now, look. Watch. Right in here. Now, this is all more cooked out. It might be some vegetation. Again, this is Google Earth, and we're looking through their algorithms and such, but they're showing us this. Let me go this way. And then let me go this way. I x-rayed it for you a little bit there. There we go. Look at your definitions. Follow your right angles. Look at all your apertures. Look at all your usual suspects of the melt. Erosion doesn't do this. Erosion does not do this. Again, over here. Back out a little bit for you. Everything. And then over here, falling down into the melt. Look at this huge arch feature here. Expansion. This structure sinking down into the melt. Even out here in the water. That's the thing, man. You can go out anywhere and you're going to find fucking melt. Look at, what's this? Here, let me do this. I'll brighten it, and then I'll pop it for you. Here we go. How's that? What's this? Aperture. Rock current over, pancaking up here. aperture, right angle here. Twisting and turning. Now we're losing again in the melt over here. It's all sinking down. Look how this comes off the coast. Or off you got the water line here. You come out, and this is pretty much shallow, okay? But as you get out here, this is the melt. This is where the pinch point is of these structures slamming and going into the melt, into each other. Look at your heat differentials. Look at your lines. Look at these lines here, all pancaking structure. And then meeting into this one that's got pancaking structure going more horizontal. See it? See how this comes and just melds into this melt here? Again, now we're over Bogota. There's Bogota. Look. Popping it for a little detail there, crew. When you're presenting evidence, you want to get it as clear as you can. You want to pop the detail no matter what level of melt you're looking at it from. And a lot of times they lay these kind of lines out on their maps showing county lines, region lines, country lines, whatever. But a lot of time they're doing this to obscure the evidence. Go this way a little bit, and then I'll pop it. It's all going down in the melt. Look at your line coming across here, your line coming across here. Then you got this hanging out over here. And in between is just nothing but fucking apertures, column structure, all of it. Twisting, turning, slamming against each other. These right here, aperture. Look at this line under here. Look at this aperture under here. As you go over here, you got a rock curtain arch feature coming across here. Another arch feature coming here. And this is all cooked out here, which leads into more fucking structure everywhere. Everywhere. And of course, out there in the deep, same thing, just underwater. Again, Peru. Medellin, Envigado, Urao, Doradal. Research it, grab it, you break it down, throw it up on the page, post evidence, tell us what you see. This is how we learn in Meltology. We all bring our evidence and we all bring it forth. We let you see what we're doing and you break it down. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we love each other and respect each other. Bringing the evidence. Some might not see this. Most won't. Even for salty advanced meltologists, will sometimes have a problem seeing the melt. You just have to know how to get into your evidence. Instead of it being a picture show, get into your evidence and pop that detail, because that's what it's about. The evidence and the detail that it provides for you. Here. And I've done this kind of stuff before in streams from the past. Maybe you caught them, maybe you haven't. So this is nothing new that I'm doing or that Spartan hasn't done. Spartan's done this too, James, Mark, anybody that's got into heavy, deep meltology, we've been here, okay, at a macro level. We're over Merida, El Vigia, this area. Look at your lines coming here, sinking down onto itself. Right angle structure, pancaking down onto itself, cooked out, real green up here, brick ashy under here. You can still see the structure. Pop it a little bit better for you. See what that does. Look at this range here that comes across here. We got different heat differential running through here. The color differentials are popping the detail of your structure. Look at the right angle right here. Look at all the apertures up in here. All this out here in the deep, out here in the blue, is melted structure with tops of them, known as islands, resting on top. The rest of it is down below. Look, above the floodwaters, these little pieces here, look what's below. What's that? You know, get up here. Big apertures here. Arch getting filled out here. Twisting, falling down into the melt. Look at it below this Kralendik, whatever you call this island here. If you look at below it, aperture, aperture, aperture. This is setting on top of these melted structures going down. So everything you see from the deep to the top up here is melted structure that is sinking down into itself. Look, here's a huge fucking aperture for you. Lago di Marancabio. It's a lake or whatever. It's just a huge part of this massive structure lost in the melt. Look here. See how this wall feature comes across here? See this curve? See this curve? Look how it's blown out right here. Sinking down into the melt. Let me do something. Let me go back to center here for you, then pop it, and then I'll go here. Just a little bit, and then we'll do this. Just wanted to see this detail right here. See how it's blown out? Looks archy here, aperture here, right angle right here. This is all structure below it. See how it's twisting and falling into itself and coming out this way in the melt, out into the floodwaters. Look at this wall structure here. See, I said cooked out, comes around here, then blown out here. Then we got this underneath here. This is down deep. This is showing you the structure down. What's this down here? Down into the melt. And you know, we've been around for a while. I mean, we've been doing live streams, hitting it hard, solid, hardcore meltology for over a year now. And many of you out there in the crew, you've been here with us every damn night. You get this level I'm at right now. You are seeing this, you've seen it before, coming out of Melted Red Brick University, the nest of the Eagle Eye crew in the chill out zone that Spartan Red created. You've seen this before. If you haven't seen this before and you're more new, you're looking at some advanced meltology here. And it might be hard for you to wrap your head around right now. But as you grow into meltology and you start understanding more and more and more, you'll start seeing and understanding that this realm is not what we've been taught it to be. Structure, aperture, all this cooked out stuff with the dark green in between. These are the structures sinking down. And this is all bricky ashy in here where all the vegetation's growing. Look at the side of this structure. What's left of it here, this piece here, we're looking down and these are high elevation here. We're looking at here's the side of what's left of this structure. Look. Wall feature here with this aperture. Look at this big fucking arch thing coming off here. Look at down how deep this goes down below here and how tall this is coming up here. This is the tops of the sides of this structure right here. Look, straight lines, boom, aperture coming in here, arch feature. Heat differentials off the chain here on a macro level. This is how we map the melt. This is how we're starting to learn to map this melted realm. We got to think on so many levels and try to get rid of the lies, the indoctrination that you've been taught. That's how you're going to get through and see this truth. And it's hard to do. I get it. You know, everything that you've learned and thought was the truth and everything. And you think, well, it's a fucking lie. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the quicker you understand that, the better off you're going to be. You start seeing things, not only in meltology, but many aspects of this fucked up, what they got us living in. Okay. You start understanding it a lot more as to why things are like they are. Melted structure, looking down into it in the melt. Just popping some detail. In between them is a lot. It's down lower. It's this, all this cooked out stuff is up top. This is just the top of this structure of a massive size. Look at this. I mean, look how far this is here. This over here, then this over here. Look at the size of this. What you're seeing here, all this cooked out material against the green, is the top of the what's left of the top of this huge fucking structure called this continent. This is just a piece. You can see the ghosting over here along the water line. What's this down here, man? I mean, come on. What? Look. Look at all these lines right here. Okay. These are the architecture, structural positioning of the apertures, the walls, the structures, whatever made up the fucking aspects of this structure is right here in front of you. You just haven't recognized that you've been brainwashed to not understand what's going on. See, we just proved this is a massive structure up here. This is the outer shell of this massive structure, and we're only seeing the outer shell. It's the same thing as Laughing Eagle Spartan showed us for many a times. You see all these cooked out brick walls, okay? And behind it is the rubble. You know, the outside is the shell we're looking at, and behind it is all the cooked out material getting lost in the melt. Same thing right here, just on a massive scale. Just on a massive scale. Look. Let me do this. Let me bump this down just a little bit, and then let me pop this just a little bit. If I was to show you this pic right here, without you knowing the level we're at, you'd start picking out the apertures. You'd start picking out the lines. You'd start picking out the big block C14 features, the pancaking, all of it. And you think it was part of a wall or part of something like that until I went like this and showed you that this is just part of Peru. See it? All this sticking above the green is what's left of this fucking massive structure, all of it. Look, I'll go out here for you real quick, and then I won't dally. Same thing. High elevation pick looking down these structures, A-framing down and sinking into the melt. And we're picking out the definition in it because we're at such a high elevation looking down on it. We can understand it. Our eyes are putting it together. You can't put it together when you're standing on it because it's so fucking massive. But at this level, your mind and your eyes start putting it together. Look at this line coming up here. Structure, rock curtaining, huge, massive scale, right angle here, going into this wonky arch that's sinking down backwards into itself, into the melt. C14 structure facing up, going down into the melt. I urge you, click into YouTube, click into Google Earth. Start looking at this for yourself. Start researching it. Find a spot like this and look for shit like this. And then go like this. Then center it up. Then, if you got the capability on your tech to enhance your exposure, your contrast, and your saturation, then you can start playing with shit and popping the evidence that you're looking for. Cooked out. Again, always resort back to Meltology 101, heat differentials, texture, structure. Even out here in the blue, find a spot. And I just did it. Look, I just saw that. Bam, right there. What do we got? I mean, Meltology is not hard. You just got to understand and comprehend what you're looking at. We're looking at pancaking structures right here. Look, wall features here. Massive expansion, cooked out arch here, features in between it here. Coming down to another level, aperture, aperture. Aperture over here, cooked out. Look at the right angle cut right here. Boom, terrace down. Right angle cut right here. Boom, terrace down. Right angle drop here. Boom, terrace down. As it goes down and down and down, the angles into the melt. Again, pick a spot, pick a spot. Let's go here. What's this? Center it up, find it. Yeah, come up here, bump your contrast. Let's play with the details. Let's pop it a little bit this way, and let's pop it a little bit this way, and then let's blend it. And then let's zoom in. Once I get in tight and I start picking out definition and detail, what I see, I'll play with it a little bit more. I want to go darker with my contrast. I want to go a little bit lighter now with my exposure. And I want to saturate it. And I want to pop the definition as much as I can. You don't want to get in too tight where you're pixelating, okay? You want to keep it out enough to where you can pick out. Look at it. Look at all your apertures, right angle structures, aperture, arches everywhere in here. Come on, look. You're meltologists. You've seen this stuff before. Look right here. Look at this right here. Aperture, something on top here, expanding out, rock curtain here, another level down, aperture, the wall of it expanding out down here, right angle cut here, wall piece coming off here that hooks back here. In between it, we got right angle apertures up in here, structure right in there. And then we lose it as we go down, but we still pick out detail. Aperture, big, massive expansion over this piece here with apertures laid all up in it. This is high elevation down to lower elevation into the jungle, whatever this is. You're picking it out in the melt, the definitions of it. The jungle, the vegetation will cover up a lot, but on a macro level, and sometimes a more micro level, when you're getting into moss covering up structures, it pops the detail of the architecture, the right angle structures, whatever's lost in the melt. It kind of pops that detail for you. That's what you're seeing right now in here. And this is Peru. And I can play with this all night long. I urge you to get on your tech and go do it. Have fun, because there's so much to see. What's this right here? Is this an island, or is this a part of a structure? Top of a structure. What is that? Let's do this real quick. Find out. Huh? Let's do it. Pop it a little bit this way. Pop it a little bit this way. Let's blend it. There we go. Look at that. Here's an island for you. Top of a melted building right there. Top of a part of a melted building, because there's no doubt in my mind on a massive scale that this little chunk right here and all this in here was all connected, all nice and pristine, and when it blew it out, it ended up right here along with this in the brick ash, which we're seeing flow around as it's sinking down into itself, going out into the deep, into the water where it's cooked out, leaving aperture, faint block. Then you get into underwater where you're losing structure, aperture here, structure, aperture here. Let me do this. See it? You lose it into the melt right here, goes down into the deep. See it? What's this? Center pick. The brick ash here is the bottom of the melt, and then it goes down and into more structure. I mean, look at your apertures, your arch going wonky, falling over this way, column coming up here, but bending, or the expansion melt looks like wall feature coming out here, but getting twisty, turning into the melt. Look at this. Center pick. It's not pixelation. It's melted structure. You know, we reach out to a lot of people in Melted Red Brick University, salty and novice. And we want everybody to come in, one love, and be part of this Meltology community. And I can only speak for myself. Okay. I come into this to study it. I followed Spartan's work in depthly way before Melted Red Brick University, with all the joints that he rolled. And he sparked for us through his brilliant art form that he's created, really. If you want to call Meltology, getting into it, making it an art form, he has. And he's tried to bring us all in, and I've tried to bring us all in too through this last year. Many a people, many a groups, and reached out many a times. And I'm still going to continue to do that. And we are still going to continue to grow. And we still have one love, brick love for everybody. And hope to work and see and break down Meltology again. Collectively, everybody coming together. How can we bring this truth forward and cause the change and create the change that we want for our grandchildren and their grandchildren and fucking humanity in itself? How can we do that when there's so much conflict between people? Because we've been conditioned to do it. That's why. We got to break that in ourselves. It's not about ego. It's not about feelings. It's about the truth and how we each bring it in our own way. And I'm doing it in my way, how I do it, how it's comfortable for me to present myself to you, to show you the evidence that I see. Do you see it? I do. And I want others to see it too. I want others to understand it as I'm learning and have come to learn to understand it from every level of Meltology, from your crystallization called diamonds, rubies, sapphires, you name it. Clear up through your boulders, your balloon rocking, your blick blocking, your rock curtaining, and bringing that same basic understanding of Meltology to every level you're looking at. Pop and detail. Erosion does not cause renditioning apertures, all of it, as we've explained before. Follow your heat differentials, follow everything in your basic Meltology, and you'll start seeing it. And you'll start getting it. And I strive. It's my passion to get others to this level of understanding of meltology. We all have to go through our transitions in ourself to understand it more. To see that passion in ourselves and to bring it out in others. That's what meltology is for me. All of it. I don't care where my cursor goes. You're looking at melted structure on a massive scale, fucking enormous scale, enormous scale. Look at this arch. Look at the expansion coming out of it. Yeah. Hooked onto this piece here. Follows this way. This over here looks like maybe like a double arch. Going wonky this way and then picking up over here, this expansion wall coming out of this here and blending in with the rest of the melt over here. And I strive, like I said, to bring this out in others. And, you know, there's people that come along that just, bam, understand meltology and then just bring in the fire evidence in. And, you know, you see people that stand out. And we know and love many of them that Melted Red Brick University and Spartan Red's platform has brought to us all of us. Brilliant minds showing their work and creating a understanding from their peers of their level of understanding meltology. And there's certain people that stand out. Another shot of Peru, just reminding you where we're at. Yeah, look, melted structure. Very famous spot. This is all melted structure, every damn bit of it. You can see it, how it's sinking, blah, 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 blah. Just broke it down. I urge you, do it yourself. Get out there. Find it. Bring us. Show us your melt. And some have. And some stand out. And I'm going to showcase a young man that just entered Melted Red Brick University not too long ago. A couple months, maybe. And has been sitting in the back just watching and observing. And has found it within himself to bring forward his level of his understanding of the melt. And we're going to take a eagle eye look at it. Yes, we are. Come on, drag for me. Come on now. There we go. There we go. And where did you go? I know you're in here somewhere. Ah, here you are. There's a young man that stands out, and his name is Devin Mike 69. And Devin is one sharp dude. Deep thinker. Doesn't talk a lot. But when he does, better listen. This young man has got the vision. And he's bringing it to, he sent me some pics. And I've seen these pics. I researched them and did the same thing. But I just didn't bring them forward in my other streams. But Devin sent me this because he wanted to show me what his eyes are seeing. We were at Peru. We were in Peru looking down over the melt. Devin is above the United States, looking down onto the melt. And these are from Devon Mike 69. Continents are melted structures, and Devon is showing this. We're looking at North America, the United States, the divided states is where we're looking at. And we're seeing the West Coast. We're seeing the mid-center, the heartland, if you will. And then we go out towards the East Coast. Devon is focusing in over from Mexico clear up to Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Oregon, and showing all of this here. Is nothing but melted structure on a massive scale. Not that I need to pop much detail because Devon did a great fucking job. We're looking down. He Google Earthed it just like I did over Peru. But these are the power of the algorithms, technology showing us what they say we're living on. This is their information, not ours, theirs. And we're showing you meltology. You tell me that's not structure. This is just part of Montana and Idaho. Devon Mike 69. Showing his evidence. Graciously putting them in front of me to bring it for you tonight because he's not teched up like he needs to be to do this. So I'm showcasing, highlighting Devon Mike 69 as a brilliant, outstanding meltologist with the eye. Gets it. Showing us. This is Oregon. This is where I'm from. Over here in what we call the Willamette Valley, 50 miles from the coast. This is where I'm from, 30 miles west of Portland. I have been everywhere around here. Eastern Oregon, Southern Oregon, even into Idaho. I've been here many a times. I personally crawled around this range called the Wallowa Mountain Range, bordering Idaho. I've went fishing out here. I've went hunting out here. I went survival camping out here many a times. I grew up here. I know what this terrain is. Never realized what I was on. Look. This is Eastern Oregon. Completely cooked out. Again, Meltology 101. This is very deserty, if you will. A lot of mountain goats out here, a lot of cougar out here. But you can tell it's way different than over here. Because out where I'm from over here, this is all old growth forest. Oregon is famous for its timber industries. Such massive forest growing in a hugely compacted brick ash. To cause from Oregon to San Diego, Los Angeles, it gets down to where it's a completely cooked out, but everything up here is lush green. Legendary forests up in here in Northern California, into Southern Oregon, into Middle Oregon, into Southern or Northern Oregon, into Southern Washington, clear up to Seattle is just thick forest. This is Bigfoot country, okay, if you will. But on this side, completely different terrain. And it's all cooked out, melted structure. Clear down into Nevada, Salt Lake City. Look how cooked out Salt Lake is. Huh? Look what's out here in Nevada. A lot of this out here is military controlled, military reservation. You go out here, you end up in a black site somewhere. They're getting waterboarded. All right. I wonder why. Melted structures. Come on. Look at your lines, look at your columns, look at the melt, look at the flow, look at the sink. I mean, we've seen it so many times, and that's exactly what this is. Look at Arizona out in Crystal Pyramid country. Huh? Look at Arizona. Look at our heat differentials. Salt Lake City, blown out, cooked. Look how white it is. And I've been out there. And it's very cooked out. It's like this forever out there. But you get down here in Arizona and you start getting into more of this famous Arizona landscape, if you will, with the bright red. Look. Look. Between here and over here. Look at this. All through here. These are what they call the Rocky Mountains. I've been over them many times. Huge, but not so huge when I'm looking at this. Rocky Mountains. And this is cooked out, melted structure. Devin Mike 69 bringing us this melt. Look at underneath. Look how it's twisting, falling back on a massive scale. Massive scale. Look at Wyoming right here. Look at Albuquerque. Look at New Mexico. Look at how it fits in with Arizona. Vegas up here. Phoenix right here. Tucson right here. Albuquerque right there. And I've been across here many times. This is such on a massive scale, you can't even comprehend it when you're just driving down the fucking highway, obviously. Look at this right angle, boom, boom, coming down here, aperture. Look at this. Look at this wall structure coming here. Look at this apertures down in here. Look at the expansion, this. Look at this cooked out piece right here with this wonky arch getting fucked up right here, leaning back into the melt this way. Devin Mike 69 bringing you this tonight. Fervent Heat, just being honored to show you. And Devin didn't stop there. Oops, hold on. Always forget to do this first. Devin didn't stop there. Devin took us here. Wherever this is, in the melted realm. Oh, where'd it go? Come on back here. Where you at? Okay, here we go. Devin Mike 69. Bringing us this. Remember when I focused on Nazca not too long ago in my stream here tonight, and I showed you the lines, the energy lines, the fractal patterning of the energy coming up from the bottom up, destroying this realm? Devin Mike showing us right here the same thing. What's this? What is that? We've seen it many a times. Looks like a big fucking aperture double arch to me. When I'm looking into it, I see a separation here with dark here, dark here. This feature here indicating this expansion coming out of it, as we've seen in many, many, many arches, apertures. Heat come from the bottom up, expanding everything from the inside out and shoving it outwards as it's sinking down into itself. What are these? Laying face up in the melt. Look at the structure facing up. Down in here, you can look behind down in here and you see more of the same arch feature right here. Look, look. It's laying down on itself. Look at the top of it, laying down into the melt. Look. All this is structure back here, down into the melt. What's this? If I was to go like this and show you that, you'd say that's part of a mountainside with the aperture and the melt expanding coming out. You see the flow. Look at your lines. Look how they're melting down, squishing down into the melt, fucking twisting, turning down into the melt. And then I back out and you look like, and you notice you're looking at this elevation. What's this? Center pick. You like crew. This is what we do. And I thank Devin Mike 69 for flicking me this evidence to bring up for him tonight. The young man understands meltology. Look at this. What's this? 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 Right here. Center pick. I hope the picture's popped for you on your screen. It's popped on mine. And I hope you can see what Devin Mike is showing us tonight. Apertures everywhere, twisting, turning, structure sinking down everywhere. Heat come from the bottom up. Look how it just fucking hit all over. Look how it went out into the melt even. Look at this. All structure. Hit. Just fucking hit. All this top stuff here that's all cooked out, that's extreme fucking heat. That's the heat that it hits before it goes total brick ash, man. Totally disintegration. This is just the texture of the massive structures laying in the melt. Look at it back here. In the brick ash. This is all higher and it goes down into the brick ash here, but let's look at the brick ash. See this? Look at this. See it? Ghosting of the structure, losing itself in the melt. Devin's not done. Look else. Look at this. What's this? What's this? Aperture, arch, big fucking arch, pancaking, shifting into this with structure everywhere up in there. Tell me it's not true. Tell me that that is not structure. What's this? Right here. Boom, boom, coming across. Look at this wall inside of this fucking huge arch right here. Look how it folded over this way. Look at that. Center pick. Let me bump it just a bit. Fucking pop the detail for you, man. Let's bring it center first. Bring it center. Then I'll hit you with the detail. Right here. Right here. Let's go a little bit there and then a little bit here. And then we'll blend it. Just a bump. See it? Wow. Arch folding over this way. See it? What's inside here expanding and then fucking just folding over this way. This right angle structure here. Everything below it. Look at this wonkiness. This arch is just sinking down into the melt. And we just see the top lip of it right in here and then all this structure underneath it, man. Look at this piece sticking out right here. Look at how it folds and folds and folds down onto itself. And all this out here. I mean, pick a spot. Let's go right here. What's this snake coming across here? What's this? Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom in here. All this. These are facing down, sinking down into the melt. This is the side. This is an aperture here, and it's all sinking down into the melt. Just incredible. Look at this wall feature. We'll start with it, like we were saying. Look at this right angle right here. Boom, boom, comes across. Look at all the C14 underneath here getting cooked out up here. Look at this part of the structure here, and it wraps around here. This piece here, look how it snakes here. Aperture getting cooked out, filled out here. Right angle up above here, aperture. This one getting expanded out. I can go on and on and on and on and fucking on, but let's follow this. Look how it snakes up. Comes up here. And look at each side of it and just pick the melt out. Look at all the structure in that. Look at this right angle. bam, bam, cooked out up top here. And look at all the structure in there. We follow it and we come here. Look at this cooked out mass right here. See the color differentials? See how cooked out that is? It's getting really cooked out right there compared to everything else around it. Look at this. Popping it here just a bit more, trying to. See it? Boom, look underneath it. Nothing but fucking structure sinking down. We'll follow it. We'll just follow this, snake this way up here. And I'll just let y'all pick out the melt. Okay? I'll just let y'all pick out the melt. And I'll go like this and like this. And, you know, just specific spots for you to fucking look at. But anywhere I move, you're seeing massive, massive structures in the melt. Working our way up. Another cooked out hit spot right here. What's this? Center pick. What's this? Hold on. Too dark. Hold on. Look at that. It snakes its way this way. Look. These buildings are just sinking, shifting, smashing against each other, leaving pockets for us to look into to see the fucking definition of the structures inside. Look at this melt. Devin Mike 69, man. You'll be seeing and hearing a lot from Devin Mike. Brilliant meltologist. Sees it, showing it to us right now. What's this? Come on now. Look at this. Center pick. I mean, I want to go on and on and on. I mean, come on now. We're mainlining some hardcore meltology right here. Center pick. All I got to do is just pull and drag, crew. Let your eyes go crazy. Just let yourself feast on the melt that Devin Mike 69 has brought to us tonight. Look at that. Arch, 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 arch. Getting lost in the fucking expansion of the melt. Incredible perception, Devin Mike. What's this? Center pick. I fucking love meltology. Look how this is sinking down into itself. Look how cooked out it is up top here. in this right here. Look at this aperture right here. Look at this structure sinking down. Look underneath it, man. Arch, all this shit under here. It's sinking down, man, into the melt. Look at this back here. Look at this piece coming off here. This expansion back into this arch feature here. And it goes on and fucking on. What's this? Aperture on a massive fucking scale. Cooked out, hooked onto all this here, coming down into here, just twisting and turning it and down into the melt. Huge aperture right here, getting filled out, only half of it showing here. These are all, we're looking down. These are falling back. These structures are falling, sinking down and back onto themselves. My God. Love it. Another shot of it. Devin just cleaned it up a little bit better. Look what he's showing us right here. Look what he's showing us right here. This big arch going wonky here. Expansion, material expanding from the inside out, bottom up, man. Sinking down on itself, buoyancy and density. Big arch coming here, going wonky here, hooked onto another arch feature here, and getting lost in the melt here. And this coming down over this here. Pancaking and squishing all the apertures and shit that it was on this side. Look at this fucking wall. Look at the apertures and shit in here. Very cooked out over this upheaval dome, they call it. They're probably thinking this is some kind of huge, massive mega volcano. Bullshit. This is melted fucking structure. And Devin Mike is proving it for us right now. Look at this right here. Aperture here. Look at this pinch point here. Structure up here. What's this? What's this? Look at this line coming up here. Getting lost in the melt here. Look at it. It's attached to this. See how this comes up? Boom. We got all this mess right here. All this over here is just this building disintegrating and separating apart. See it? This line right here. Come over here to this fold here. This is all sinking down and separating from itself. What's this? Huge. Look at the arch right here. Boom, boom. What's this? Right angle. Fucking straight line right angle, man. Look at this coming down here. Boom, 90 degree. Boom, drops down. Open inside of it. Look. Goes back. Why are they hiding this from us? Well, can't think of anything more apparent than nefarious. Look at this wall feature right here. Look at this fucking shit coming across over here. Sorry for my language. Meltology just brings that out in me. Look at the separation right here coming across. Boom, boom. Different from right here. Look at your lines this way. Mangled mess over this way. Fucking look at, you can still see the outer shell of this part of this structure here, and it wraps around. Look at it. This coming down this way. Look at this. See this right angle bend right here? See that? And it's coming down and it's shoving this material down, causing this wonkiness right here. pressing up against this expansion here. Coming down this way to the side of this structure here, or what's left of the side of this structure here, the shell, if you will, called now a mountain range, okay? But losing itself in the meltdown here, which is nothing but look at the structure here. Look at this sort of line coming across here, aperture down here, but follow it. Boom, 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 boom. All the way over to this. Then we got a 90-degree double aperture here. Arch feature coming off, sinking back here. Whew. Another higher aerial view of it. And we're over right here. If you want to know where we're at, we're over. You can find it by going to, fuck, can't even hardly read this shit. But it's out here in the melt somewhere. But you can do this kind of stuff yourself, like I said, and just zoom in, capture your picture, go in, bump it, play with it, bring out the melt, and then come on up in here to the nest and show it. Please, please show us your melt. We're over the Ashley National Forest. We're over Dinosaur National Monument. So find these spots and go look at it yourself. What's this? Well, this is Provo, Utah. This is the plumbing still present in these massive structures. This is called a lake. You can find it. Go to Spanish Fork, Provo, and you'll find it, and you'll see it, and you'll see this massive fucking wall structure that makes Provo, Utah into Spanish Fork. Huh? Come on now. Too dark. That's a little bit better. What's this? Top of this ridge line here. Wall sinking down into the melt. Aperture here is coming out. I mean, all of it sinking down into the melt. Getting blended into the melt. Blended into the melt. This small, massive cooked out here. This is fruit land up here. So find fruit land and you'll see this. Look at the structures right here. Look at this. Look at this up here. And then it drops down into this huge, massive wall feature here. This one, right angle here, sinking down this way, this pancaking down this way, this blending into this right here, coming down here, this getting lost in all this cooked out mass here. What's over here? Here's Oak Creek. Here's Pagoda. What's this? There's just so much here, it's hard to even describe. White River National Forest. Check it out at this level, at this macro level. Start researching meltology at this level. Show us your evidence. And we're back into Peru. Eagle Eye Crew. Brick Love, my family, my brothers, my sisters, my fellow meltologists. Vision is what we bring through Spartan Red's platform into the chill out zone, into the nest of our beloved Eagle Eye Crew, our family. Everyone out there that studies meltology and brings it forth, no matter where you're at, we're all connected. We all love each other. We all respect each other. We all want nothing but good for each other in these difficult times. Bring my self-center here, crew, and talk with you. Whoever's here. Remove that. Trying to bring my self-center here. There I am. Much more to go through, crew. We're at 3 hours and 40 minutes, and it seems like 3 minutes and 40 seconds to me. Jeffrey Bale. Leanne, I see you. The Melted Truth. Deborah, Red Brick Chick. Odin. Odin's Beard Cuntologist. I am Nancy. Mesa Melt. Doug Hickson. Local Native 420. World of Bliss. Another Perspective. James Breeden. Big Jimmy. Brother, we got to talk. We all need to come together. We're still together. We just have differences of opinions. Look, let me tell you something. And I know there's only a few here, but I hope this gets out to everybody in our meltology world, our family, everybody. I'm grateful and honored to be up here amongst salty veterans, heavy hitters in this movement, these platform creators that have brought the ability for us all to come up here and do what we do. And I urge everybody to just dig within yourself and just understand that there's much more that we have to do, and we can only get there quicker together. Brick love to you, one love to you and yours. A special thank you and a heartfelt I love you to my brother Spartan Red, again, for bringing this platform for us. Again, for showing your creative genius, I look at it as the meltology that you bring forward with your talents and your patience and your time and your work and your effort to bring us meltology and showing this truth in such a wonderful way. about vision. It's about seeing. It's about loving. It's about understanding. It's about coming together. To everybody out there in our melted family, brick love to you. One love to you and yours. Fervent heat. Till next time, brick love.